Okay, so basically what you got here is three buttons in the top. They're going to help you play any game in a different language, possibly watch a movie, for example. So the OCR capture. So let's grab those first two right there. So you select every single time the area in your screen that you want to grab the text. It's going to translate it as the if the speech to text is off, there's going to be a text to speech. You're going to click on the word buttons.
Начать. Игру.
It gives you a lot more information now. So in this case, this is a noun. It gives you all the possible translations of that word, right? But if this is running, that text to speech will not go ahead and work. So this one, you grab a specific area, and every time you click your middle mouse button, it's going to grab the text in that area. So let's go ahead and do that. So this would make sense if you're playing a game and you got the subtitles at the bottom every single time. So just click your middle mouse button and you're gonna have to select the area every single time. If you're doing like a treaty type game where either the user interface or there's content with the environment, say you get a sign within the game, um, just click on the area where you want to always grab, click on the middle button, so that's going to be updating. Finally, the speech to text, let's go ahead and start it. This would show up in yellow. We got the study area and the voice chat. I haven't worked around with it, but this one, for example, is going to record past conversations you have had, and you can come back here and study them and say, for example, you were watching a movie, you want to go ahead and review the dialogue, or you want to go ahead and review every individual word and try to go back and watch that series or movie without any help and see if you can figure it out by your own. That would eventually be the goal, and you can go ahead and do this. So I'm going to tweak this to make it look a little bit better. But once we got this speech to text, and like I said, if you're messing around with this, you can go ahead and select here and figure out what the hell this is saying, all right? So let's continue game. So this is a game similar to Disco Elysium. It seems to be made by Russians. Russians really like that game in particular. It was made by British people. Pretty good game, Disco Elysium. Doesn't have audio on it, so that's probably why I'm not using this as a test. Okay, so if we click on this overlay too, we can move this around. So say if you want to have some video with fairly semi-accurate subtitles here, that it will be showing up as it goes. Once it stops getting the live transcript and goes up into this feed, it's a lot more accurate. And there's basically some cost benefit stuff I can do. So basically, the slower the transcription, the more accurate it is, but it's not going to have that real time effect. So keep that in mind. I might tweak it around, have different models for different people that want to have, you know, different scenarios. So if you have a movie where there's two people having a dialogue together and it's very fast and long-winded, you might want to get the slower version where it's going to give you a paragraph of text, but it's going to be fairly accurate. If you have basically very small snippets of dialogue that are separated within a relatively reasonable amount of time, then in that case you might want to get the quicker one that doesn't wait so much to cut and do the transcript. So let's go ahead and do this.
Уводи.
Take it off. So in this case, it doesn't really make that much sense. You click on here, you see it means walk away. So this added context, makes more sense. Um, so in this case, for example, we do the live OCR. We can go ahead and grab this area all the time, and we can just click the middle mouse button, and you can get the rest of the context.
Мусора поганые. Развели произвол. Я на вас управу найду. Из собственной квартиры. Шпану эту гоните.
Right, so it kind of frozen there for a second, thinking, puts it in here. In this case, it looked like they're both about the same, and it seems to be about the same as what we have the text in here. You can always, if you don't know what that is, grab any of the OCRs, put it in there, neighbor.
Явился. Не с той ноги сегодня встал. С утра звонок, у меня воры! Ну, думаю, большая деревня, ведь какие у нас тут воры? Приезжаем, ведет к ванной, а там ребята сныкались.
Let's click the middle mouse button, see what that means. Right, squirrel. So basically, you can go ahead and play this game. There's nothing else you need. If we want to watch a movie, for example, like I said, the accuracy might depend on the source. If there's a lot of background noises, it might get distorted, but it does do a pretty fairly good job. So
За счет того, что, во-первых, это зайчик, а не человек. Во-вторых, что он будет говорить, а не, так сказать, по зайчи там фыркать. В-третьих, что он сможет за счет работы художника вести себя, ну, так сказать, чрезвычайно остро, ну, скажем, уж бояться, так бояться, уж трястись, так трястись, так как никакой зайчик в жизни не затрясется там, даже при страшном морозе. Вот. Это все время шаг в сторону из реальности.
Все психологически, человечески замотивировано, но замотивировано с неким поворотом, с неким смещением. То, что делает уже из обычных людей не от того, что они вот такие вот.
Right, so you get the gist in there. There's still that bug where if it grabs a text, it stops its transcribing. It is not listening, so I'm gonna have to work something out with that. So it skips a few words between the transcription, puts the text in there, and then go back to listen. So that's another tweak I gotta do. But generally speaking, it's fairly accurate, I think. So that's the basic gist. I mean, but for the games per se that don't have this constant dialogue most of the time, currently it works almost perfectly. But there's more work I can do. The study, the voice chat, I think it would be pretty fun if I can make it the way I'm thinking I can make it. But yeah, basically, we'll probably do another update next week.